Are the Avengers Earth's mightiest heroes? Hang on, that's the Justice League, right?
Yeah, Justice League.
Shakespearean lightning and thunder arrows, red, white, and blue shields and golden armor, emerald rage and badass Morpheus longcoat, and Scarlett Johansson's leather pear bottom. Oh, Avengers, how sweet thou fury! The god Loki, Tom Hiddleston, all British leering and still looking like Data from Star Trek The Next Generation. He's come to Earth from Asgard to conquer and destroy. And Earth's mightiest heroes are there to punch him. Seems kinda ineffectual and unimaginative that against literal magical and divine foes, the best retaliation that can be mustered by the writers of this mega superhero tale, Zach Penn and Joss Whedon, is that the heroes punch demons flying around on bad motor scooters. Even the grand resolution, though a jaw-dropping sequence, is nothing more than the old destroy the source to destroy the minions gambit. And what does Loki want with Earth anyway? As we saw in Thor in 2011, Asgard was a pretty bodacious LSD-colorized dazzle garden. Why leave paradise for this dump? Is he here for the fabulous grilled prime Côte de Boeuf at Spargo? Is Loki after our Arab oil? Our blood diamonds? Our white women? Taking his cues from OG supervillain Dick Cheney, his plan seems to be conquest for the sake of conquest. No exit strategy, no goal. And he's using a cool cutting-edge science concept to do it. The Tesseract, or hypercube theory. A wormhole joining two distant points in space-time. Loki allies with a croaky guy named The Other, whose helmet looks like it was fashioned from dog turds. And they order their Chitauri demon riders to spurt through the wormhole to Earth and break things. Some plan. Dim plot aside, the Avengers is overseen by Marvel, the studio that can do little wrong when pumping out A-list superhero blockbusters, and fashioned by writer-director Joss Whedon, the man from Firefly, who can also do little wrong with his iconoclastic approach. Highly enjoyable / dim-witted movie experience ensues. Not only are there eye-damaging effects, thunderous action pieces, big stupid CGI whale things, and pretty orange explosions aplenty, there's heart and poignancy and humor, uncertain alliances between heroes, petty arguments, snappy dialogue, human frailty, and godlike wrath, and Scarlett Johansson's leather pear bottom.
Avengers Assemble!
Whedon does it again, imbues this ostensibly kickapoo, punch-em-up movie with real personality. Even if you did not meet the individual heroes in their own films over the past few years, they are each presented as a throbbing personality crisis, no emotion spared. Except maybe Captain America, aka Steve Rogers, Chris Evans, whose wooden delivery makes us suspect he landed this job on the cerulean dreaminess of his eyes. You see, he's frozen his facial muscles in place for fear that if he moves them one iota, he'll stop looking like a Chippendales dancer. And Jesus, look at the size of those biceps! And then we see Chris Hemsworth's biceps, and they're even bigger! Hemsworth brings the hammer as Thunder God Thor on rad steroids. Half-brother to Loki, and therefore forced to speak in a British accent. For an Aussie, that's an eternal annoyance. Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man, aka Tony Stark, now plonking his ginger assistant Pepper, Gwyneth Paltrow, and bequeathed the best dialogue, so cheeky, arrogant, and sarcastic that Brad Pitt called from Ocean's 11 and wanted his insouciance back. His armor is the damned coolest thing about this movie, and when he's flying around, firing his hand blasters at demons, his power is awe-inspiring. Now, if only he had an iron pear bottom. Samuel L. Jackson is Nick Fury, director of S.H.I.E.L.D., which stands for something dicks. He's been elevated from annoying harbinger of doom in post-credit Marvel cameos to annoying harbinger of doom all over our faces. Custom leather, bad boy eye patch, flying around in his invisible aircraft carrier like a pimp, and constantly whining that Earth can't handle these threats, so we have to assemble a team that can. May I suggest a Craigslist? As soon as Fury assembles Captain America and Iron Man, Thor descends from Asgard and they all get into a three-way, pounding each other in the forest as only men from Craigslist can. Thor wants to take his brother Loki back to Asgard for some of that sweet Asgardian justice, but Tony and Steve want to punish him right here on Earth with their totally functioning American justice system that would probably also work on gods. I wonder, what would his bail be set at, like 4,000 Asgardian shekels? After they decimate more of the forest than any super criminal trying to destroy the environment, they agree to disagree that Hemsworth has the biggest biceps. Hulk, aka Bruce Banner, is dork cool Mark Ruffalo. Love that guy. Perfectly cast as the most unruffled guy in the room. Unruffalo? Even though harboring the most internal rage. In this third major movie featuring the Hulk, after Hulk and the Incredible Hulk, Bruce can apparently change green and fluffy at will. That's my secret. I'm always angry. Hey, I must be a Hulk. Banner and Stark engage in much tech jargon that means absolutely nothing, but their quiet moments are powerful, almost poignant. Matter of fact, all the heroes have their quiet time for feelings, which director Whedon effortlessly makes compelling. And their dissent is the most interesting element of the movie, especially Steve's and Tony's argument about, take that suit off, what are you? I'll take my clothes off if you take your clothes off. No, you take your clothes off. No, I'll take your clothes off. The sexual tension is palpable. As Steve accuses Tony, you're not the guy to make the sacrifice play, to lay down on a wire and let the other guy crawl over you. We hear you, Steve. You want to crawl over Tony. They would have to wait for Captain America Civil War to actually pound each other. But there's a bigger seed being planted here. Marvel Comics was always canny at creating Marvel team-ups, where the moral ambiguity of the situation set heroes at odds with one another, and Whedon somehow captured that lightning while everyone kept their clothes on. Down near the bottom line of above-the-line talent, we have Archer Hawkeye, aka Clint Barton, Jeremy Renner, who can apparently claim superhero status because he has good aim and his arrows explode. I guess Rambo can fill out that application form then. Renner was apparently unhappy with his role because he signed up to be a superhero, and for half the movie, he's Loki's bottom bitch, possessed to shoot his arrows in the wrong direction. He's brought back to his senses when his woman bashes his head on a metal pipe, which is the correct way to bring a man back to his senses. Hawkeye and Thai Jitsu expert Black Widow, aka Natasha Romanoff, Scarlett Johansson, have been re-rendered by this movie franchise as two CIA assassins with a spanky sexual tension. One would think these two mere humans would get lost amidst the super soldiers, Iron Men and gods, but again, Whedon can even turn focus to their little patacake moments without losing our interest. Oh, and did I mention Scarlett Johansson's leather pear bottom? Clark Gregg appears for the umpteenth time as S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Coulson, now with a first name, Phil, and a predilection for Captain America trading cards, like the rest of us He-Men going by for Cap's biceps. Two of the film's surprising touching moments involve Coulson's trading cards and his first name. Further, deponent saith not. His name is Phil. Cobie Smulders is here as eye candy. I guess one leather pear bottom just wasn't enough.
Avengers Photoshop.
Let's talk about that Dickie poster. What a mishmash pish-posh. Like the marketers were trying to squeeze all their franchise properties into a space they didn't want to pay for. Why isn't Iron Man wearing a helmet? Myriad reasons, all to do with marketing to what they regard as their exceedingly dull target audience. Why is Captain America also maskless, 3 stories tall? Why is Hawkeye in different lighting? Can all their positions and places on the poster be composed any more arbitrarily? Did they fire their art director before letting a boob photoshopper loose on this quack scenario? Who hired this useless guy? And can he get me a job at Marvel? Look at this bitchin' masking here.
Avengers Minutia.
And how about all the subtle details that make the Avengers a class act? Thor summons his hammer Mjolnir through the innards of the aircraft carrier, and there is a shot of Thor simply waiting, arm outstretched, as we hear Mjolnir in the distance decimating the walls and rooms of the ship as it makes a beeline towards him. Probably killed a few soldiers on its way too. Gravy. Hulk decimates a fighter jet. The pilot ejects and Hulk catches the seat before it can clear the plane. Iron Man's suit removal machine. Much like a love removal machine, but less culty. Atop Stark's building, the final shot shows us the decimated Stark name with only the A remaining, fashioned like the Avengers logo. A nod to canon, Stark's place becomes Avengers Mansion as they use it for headquarters whenever they need to strategize on punching people. And yes, fans, stay for the post-credits. One word: big blue ballsack.
Avengers philosophize.
As much as these super beings inspire us to be more than we can be, I gotta hit the gym. I gotta save some lives. I gotta advertise on Craigslist. There is something very dangerous about their existence. Modern comics in the 80s started addressing incredible power coupled with vigilantism. And in this movie there are dark overlords whom Nick Fury answers to, featuring Powers Boothe and the spunky Jenny Agutter, now sadly old, who want the Avengers on a short leash. Bruce Banner knows the danger when he argues, "We're not a team, we're a time bomb." And that is true for any entity with inordinate power and no constraints on that power. American military. Whether Whedon and Penn intended for that statement to be political, it hits home in this belligerent nuclear age, where the constraints of using or abusing America's military forces have been eroded since Reagan's Iran-Contra treason. It hasn't been drawn down through any American administration since, only exacerbated. Loki arrives on Earth, telling Fury, freedom is life's great lie. Coupled with the above time bomb analogy, we recognize something deeper in this movie than just punching. It's small, but it's there. Later, Loki tells Black Widow, "This is my bargain, you mewling quim." Now that's just gravy. In the final telling, the Avengers thrills with its stunning action, thoughtful characterization, and the simple fact that Marvel managed to cram all these colorful icons onto one bombastic piece of celluloid. Cheers. Oh, and did I mention Scarlett Johansson's leather pear bottom? Hey, thanks for being Movie Maniacs. You're always welcome to like, subscribe, comment, share, and I'll see you next time at Dunmore's Movie Mania.